global, uh, private, no government oversight, digital, rules-based monetary system the world has ever known. That's a big idea. And we think the total crypto asset market in 2030 will be valued at roughly $25 trillion Right now, it's a little over a trillion. And we think that Bitcoin is going to be more than half of that.
ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood is reportedly predicting a more than 2,100% increase in the total market capitalization of cryptocurrencies in less than 7 years. In a new interview with Benzinga, Wood says that financial institutions will likely start investing heavily in Bitcoin and other digital assets, driving up the total crypto market cap. U.S. institutional adoption has further intertwined Bitcoin with the nation's economy. ETF outcomes aside, significant financial bodies now include Bitcoin in their asset arrays, tying its value to U.S. market sentiments. A 3-judge panel of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals in Washington last week ruled that the SEC was wrong to reject Grayscale's proposed Bitcoin ETF without explaining its reasoning, in a case that has been closely watched by the industry and which briefly boosted the price of Bitcoin nearly 7%. Grayscale Investments on Tuesday urged the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to quickly approve its proposed exchange-traded fund that would track Bitcoin, following the crypto asset manager's court victory against the agency. In her interview, Cathie expressed her strong belief that the SEC is likely to face defeat in the Grayscale case in the near future. In the event of such an outcome, she speculated that one potential response from the SEC could be a shift in focus towards approving not just a single Bitcoin ETF, but multiple ones. Cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase has rolled out a crypto lending service for institutional investors in the United States, reportedly aiming to capitalize on massive failures in the crypto lending market. According to a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Coinbase customers have already invested $57 million in the lending program since the first sale occurred on August 28. The offering had attracted 5 investors as of September 1. Cathie mentioned, "We view Coinbase as the entry point for institutional players looking to participate in the cryptocurrency market, and its recent collaboration with BlackRock marked a significant milestone in this context." Let's direct our attention towards the few clips from video.
I think institutions will be a big part of it. This is a new asset class, very low correlations with any other asset class, except at extremes in all markets. The correlations go to 1. So yes, and I think a Bitcoin ETF approval will help. I think judicial clarity, legislative clarity is all going to happen within the next few years. This is an election year issue. I already know some young people who have switched their allegiance when it seemed like Elizabeth Warren was going to lead the Democrats into the anti-crypto world. I know of some young individuals whom I never thought would change their allegiance, shifted from Democrats to Republicans. Now it's becoming a little more bipartisan in the legislative branch, and I think it is because it's becoming an election year issue. And so you can't be on the wrong side of young people and win an election. Well, we're in the news for our Bitcoin ETF filing, and because it's with the SEC, we cannot say anything. Okay. But I really do believe that the SEC is going to lose the Grayscale case, and that's going to happen pretty soon. And that one of the ways that the SEC could respond is to turn around and change the subject and approve not just one Bitcoin ETF, but a lot of the ones that are on the docket right now. So it could happen. It could happen quickly. And, I think from an institutional point of view, then, I think we're going to see a serious move in. And what's interesting about that is the number of Bitcoin outstanding now is 19-ish million, and the maximum will be 21 million. If institutions want to move in, that's going to be a lot of incremental demand for not that much more incremental supply. So the only way to then do that is to bid the price up if they really want to be a part of that movement.
Coinbase is still one of your largest holdings in the crypto space.
Yes.
You
Yes.
believe in Coinbase still, like big
Oh,
time?
yes, yes, absolutely. We think it's going to be the institutional on-ramp. It signed the deal with BlackRock, and I think that was a very big deal in terms of
Okay.
Larry Fink. Larry Fink is now all about Bitcoin, and so it's getting much more institutional focus. You will remember there was a time when Larry Fink said Bitcoin is environmentally a menace. Uh, and I don't think he's talking about that anymore because actually Bitcoin is solving some environmental problems now that Exxon is putting Bitcoin mining machines into natural gas fields so that instead of flaring the natural gas, it can be used to mint Bitcoin. So and utility ecosystems are using it to in their solar ecosystems. When the sun's created too much energy, it'll pour into Bitcoin mining, and they can overbuild solar and wind. So this is the convergence of technologies.
Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller said Tuesday that the recent round of strong economic data will buy the central bank some time as it decides whether additional interest rate hikes are needed to control inflation. Earlier in the week, other reports showed that the Fed's preferred inflation gauge rose just 0.2% in July. U.S. job growth picked up in August, but the unemployment rate jumped to 3.8% and wage gains moderated, suggesting that labor market conditions were easing and cementing expectations that the Federal Reserve will not raise interest rates this month. Cathie's perspective suggests that the more significant concern is not inflation but rather deflation. Let's direct our attention towards the few clips from video.
We have a very strong point of view about what's going to happen to interest rates. We think they're going to fall, and surprisingly so, because we think the bigger risk out there is not inflation, it is deflation. And you can tell me, oh, these economic statistics are saying the economy is fine. You take a look at some of these earnings reports, and the headline will be, oh, they beat their revenue and earnings. But what happens if you look deep into it? The guidance has been falling for a long time, and many companies are showing little to no nominal growth. So forget about inflation. Nominal revenue growth is diminishing, and by some measures, real revenue growth has been negative in units terms for the last 2 quarters on a year-over-year basis. Well, I think we've dropped inflation from 9% in June of 22 to 3%, a little over 3% headline CPI in July of this year. So it's coming down, and money growth is negative on a year-over-year basis, down more than 3%. It's been negative since the beginning of the year. And monetary policy operates on the economy with a lag. So we actually think there's going to be a harder landing than most people think. And certainly when it comes to profit margins, now that all of these companies are agreeing to these huge wage bills. Well, credit card debt is not a problem until delinquencies start ramping. And delinquencies ramp when unemployment goes up. And we do think unemployment is going to go up as companies watch their margins going down. They've held up because they've priced to keep their margins up. They've put in through higher prices, but now they're losing unit growth. We just got a report today about consumer delinquencies ramping much faster than some company had expected. It was a retailer, I believe. I think this is going to become pretty rampant.
The recent court victory of Grayscale Investments is a major victory for the crypto industry and could lead to the approval of more Bitcoin ETFs in the future. The launch of Coinbase crypto lending service is another sign of growing institutional interest in the space. The Federal Reserve's recent comments suggest that they are not too concerned about inflation at this time, which could be positive for the crypto market. We encourage you to share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay informed on the latest news and videos. Thanks for joining us.